Hi, I'm Gina Hunt, author, advocate, and nurse. Welcome to the Secrets We Keep podcast, where silence ends and healing begins. This podcast is for reflection and conversation. It is not therapy, legal advice, diagnosis, or emergency support. If you are in immediate danger, if someone is threatening you, or if you feel unsafe, please contact 911. Local law enforcement, a crisis line, or a trusted local resource. Today's episode talks about unhealthy relationships, emotional harm, verbal harm, physical safety, threats, manipulation, and protecting your future. Please take care of yourself while listening. Pause if you need to, step away if you need to, come back when you're ready. Today, I want to talk about something a little different because I usually speak a lot about women, survival, emotional abuse, DV, and what happens when a woman is trying to find her way out of something that has harmed her. But today, I want to talk about our young men, our sons, our nephews, our grandsons, our godsons, our brothers, the young men who are trying to do the right thing. The young men who are going to school, making good grades, working a job, building a future, loving God, trying to walk right, trying to have morals, values, dignity, and respect. And I want to start with this. A young man can lose his future in one moment. One argument, one reaction, one false accusation, one toxic relationship, one night where alcohol, anger, pride, and pain all meet in the same room. One moment where he puts his hands on someone. One moment where he pulls up when he should have stayed away. One moment where he responds to a threat with a threat. One moment where he tries to prove he is a man instead of protecting his future. All gone. Lost his future in one moment. And that is why this conversation is important. Because we tell our sons they are kings. We put the crown on their head early. We say, you are a leader. You are a provider. You are the man of the house, or you will soon be the man of the house, or I'm preparing you to be the man of the house. You are supposed to protect, work hard, stand tall, and make something of yourself. But here's the question. When we put the crown on his head, did we teach him how to carry it? We raise our little girls to be daddy's little princesses. We tell them they're special. We tell them they deserve love and respect, protection, and honor. And when they become women, we want them to be treated like queens. But if we're going to raise our daughters to be queens, then we also have to raise our sons to be prince. So when they become men, they understand what it means to be kings. And not kings in title only. I'm talking about young men who understand responsibility, discipline, self-control, boundaries, wisdom, respect, purpose. Because being a king is not just about being strong. It's not just about having money. It's not just about having a woman. And it is not just about having a car, a job, or people looking up to you. A crown is not just something you wear. A crown is something you have to learn how to carry. And sometimes society places that crown on a young man's head and expects him to carry everything. We expect him to be strong, but we do not always give him permission to say he is hurt. We expect him to provide, but we do not always teach him how to protect himself from being used. We expect him not to cry, not to break, not to react, and not to fall apart. But do we teach him what to do when someone is threatening him? Do we teach him what to do when someone is manipulating him? Do we teach him what to do when someone is lying on him, harassing him, trying to ruin his future, or trying to pull him out of character? Because the truth is, young men can be hurt too. Young men can be manipulated and used too. Young men can be emotionally abused too. Young men can be physically attacked too. And just because he is male does not mean he automatically knows how to handle pain, pressure, rejection, threats, or a toxic relationship. Now, let me say this clearly. This episode is not about bashing women. This episode is not about teaching men to hate women. This episode is not about excusing bad behavior from men. This episode is about balance. It is about accountability. It is about telling the truth on both sides because we teach our daughters to protect themselves from the wrong man. But are we also teaching our sons how to protect their peace, their name, their future, their safety, and their freedom from the wrong woman? I know that may make some people uncomfortable, but uncomfortable does not mean untrue. And silence does not protect our sons. Sometimes a young man is doing the best he can. He's working, he is in school, he's trying to build something, he's trying to have a career, he's trying to stay focused, he's trying to make his family proud, he's trying to become the man he believes God called him to be. And then he gets attached to someone who may not want to grow, someone who may not want to work, someone who may not want to go to school, someone who may not want to obtain anything for herself, someone who may want to drink, have fun, have sex, be taken care of, and enjoy what he is building without respecting what it cost him to build it. At first, he may think it is love. He may think he can help her. He may think if I love her right, she'll change. He may think if I keep showing her better, she will want better. He may think if I stay, she will see my heart. But young men, hear me clearly. You cannot love someone into honesty. You cannot provide someone into purpose. You cannot sex someone into loyalty. You cannot argue someone into accountability. You cannot sacrifice your future trying to rescue someone who keeps choosing chaos. And when that ride is over, when he starts setting boundaries, when he starts pulling away, when he says, I cannot do this anymore, sometimes that is when the danger starts. The anger comes, the threats come, the verbal attacks come, the mental games come. Sometimes the physical harm comes. Sometimes the lies come. Sometimes the plan becomes, if I cannot have access to him, I will try to damage him. And that is dangerous because one wrong reaction from him can change his life. One moment of anger can cost him his future. One argument can turn into a police report. One bad decision can affect his school, his job, his career, his freedom, and his name. So, what do we tell him? Do we just say, don't worry about it, block her, don't talk to her, it'll be okay? Sometimes blocking is necessary. Sometimes not talking is necessary. Sometimes walking away is necessary. But is that all we teach him? Or do we teach him how to protect himself? Do we teach him to document threats? Do we teach him to save messages? Do we teach him not to meet up alone when emotions are high? Do we teach him not to pull up? Do we teach him not to argue back and forth through text messages? Do we teach him to call for help? Do we teach him to file a report when needed? Do we teach him to learn his rights? Do we teach him that protecting himself does not make him weak? Do we teach him that he can respect a woman and still refuse to be abused by one? Because a young man does not have to be violated to be powerful. He does not have to disrespect a woman to defend himself. He does not have to argue, chase, beg, threaten, or prove anything to someone who is trying to pull him out of character. He can block, walk away, document, call for help, file a report, learn his rights. He can choose his future over a toxic relationship. And as parents, grandparents, godparents, aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, and loved ones, we have to stop acting like our young men are not vulnerable. Just because he is male does not mean he cannot hurt. Just because he is strong does not mean he cannot be manipulated. Just because he is quiet does not mean he is okay. Just because he is working, going to school, making good grades, loving God, and trying to do the right thing does not mean he cannot be attached to the wrong person. And sometimes the wrong woman is not just a distraction. Sometimes she can become a danger to his peace, his name, his freedom, and his future. Now, this is where I want to talk about something I call a counterfeit queen, because sometimes we use the word fake, but counterfeit means something just a little deeper, because fake is just fake. Like a $7 bill, we know it's not real. But counterfeit tries to pass itself off as real. Counterfeit tries to look like the real thing. Counterfeit tries to move like the real thing. Counterfeit wants you to believe it has value, but when you examine it closely, something is off. And sometimes that is what happens in relationships. A young man may think he has met a queen. She may look like love. She may sound like support. She may act like she wants to build. She may know how to say the right things at first. But over time, her actions start telling the truth. She does not want partnership. She wants access. She does not want to build with him. She wants to benefit from him. She does not want his future protected. She wants his attention, his money, his body, his time, his energy, and his loyalty, even when she is not giving him respect, peace, or safety in return. That is not a queen. That is a counterfeit queen. And this is important because we cannot teach our sons to look only at beauty, attention, or chemistry. We have to teach them to look at character. How does she handle anger? How does she handle being told no? How does she treat him when she is not getting her way? Does she respect his goals? Does she respect his boundaries? Does she encourage his future or does she distract him from it? Does she bring peace or does she bring chaos? Does she want to walk with him or does she want to ride on what he is building? Because a queen does not have to be perfect. None of us are perfect. But a queen does not try to destroy a man because he sets a boundary. A queen does not try to ruin his name because he no longer wants the relationship. A queen does not use threats, lies, violence, or manipulation to keep control. And we need to teach our sons that love should not require them to lose themselves. Love should not require them to lose their education. Love should not require them to lose their career. Love should not require them to lose their freedom. Love should not require them to lose their relationship with God. Love should not require them to lose their morals, their values, or their dignity. For privacy, I'm changing the names in these stories. We will call these young men Matthew, Michael, and Malachi. The women in their stories will be called Blair, Bella, and BC. Each woman came from a different ethnic background. But let me be clear, this episode is not about ethnicity, it is not about race, it is not about culture. Wrong is wrong in every language. Abuse is abuse in every household. Violence is violence no matter who is doing it. This episode is about behavior, safety, accountability, and the choices that can damage someone's future. Matthew was trying to do the right things. He was working, he was building, he had morals, values, dignity, and faith in God. He wanted the best for Blair. He encouraged her to stop getting intoxicated. He encouraged her to look for work after losing her job. He encouraged her to go to school. He encouraged her to have good goals. He encouraged her to want more for herself. But there were problems: dishonesty, promiscuity, lies, no real accountability, negative things being told to her family about him, threats, attention seeking behavior. And when Matthew would not go back to being her boyfriend, when he would not respond the way Blair wanted him to respond, she threatened to ruin him. Now, pause right there, because that is not love. That is control. That is not heartbreak. That is manipulation. That is not a woman wanting closure. That is a woman trying to punish a man because he will not give her access to him anymore. And that is where families have to step in with more than just block her. Blocking may be part of it, but blocking alone may not be enough when threats are being made. We have to teach our young men to save the messages, document the threats, do not go back and forth, do not meet her alone, do not pull up, do not argue, do not threaten, do not put your hands on anybody. Call for help, file a report if threats are being made, talk to an attorney if needed, learn your rights, because one lie can damage a name. One argument can become a police report. One moment of anger can become a charge. One toxic relationship can threaten a young man's education, career, peace, freedom, and future. And then there's Michael. Michael is a 29-year-old DJ. He had broken up with one girlfriend and was living with his mother. Shortly after that, he met Bella. For a while, Mike and Bella lived with his mother. During that time, they fought. Bella attacked him. That should have been a warning. That should have been a pause. That should have been a moment where somebody said, "Son, this is not safe." But he still wanted to move and get an apartment with her, and he did. They had only been living together a couple of months when Michael had a birthday. People were over, alcohol was involved. At some point, Michael told some people they had to leave. Four men attacked him, and Bella joined in. The police were called. Michael was escorted out. He received a police report so he could file charges. His mother and father, who do not live together but have always worked together to raise him, encouraged him to file charges. They encouraged him to walk away. They encouraged him to protect himself. But Michael refused. And then he moved back in with Bella. Now, some people may hear that and say, why would he go back? But that is the same question people ask women in abusive relationships. Why did she go back? Why did she stay? Why did she not press charges? Why did she protect him? So now we have to be honest enough to ask the same question when it is a man. Why did he go back? Maybe he cares about her. Maybe he feels embarrassed. Maybe he does not want to look weak. Maybe he thinks he should be able to handle it. Maybe he thinks filing charges makes him less of a man. Maybe he is afraid nobody will believe him. Maybe he thinks love is supposed to hurt. Maybe he has wounds he does not understand. Maybe chaos feels familiar. Maybe he's confusing love with attention. Maybe he is confusing loyalty with self destruction. Maybe he thinks walking away means she won. But walking away from something that is destroying your future is not losing. That may be the first wise decision you make for yourself. And then there is Malachi. Malachi is successful, early 30s, married, God-fearing, raised by his parents, went to college, got his degree, got his dream job, made good money, provided for his family, loves his wife, spent time with his children, had date nights, built what looked like a beautiful life, a beautiful home, a wife, children, respectability, stability, a safe place. And then, after a disagreement, BZ called the police and said he hit her. Malachi had no idea the police were coming. He went to jail barefoot, and that one moment changed everything. He eventually lost his job. He stayed away for a while. They went through counseling. He went back because of his children. But that safe space he thought he had, it had changed. That marriage he thought he had changed. That trust he thought he had changed. That love and respect he thought were there changed. And that is the part people do not always understand. Even if the relationship continues, something breaks when a person weaponizes the police, lies, or uses the system to punish someone they claim to love. It changes the house. It changes the marriage. It changes the way a man sleeps. It changes the way he talks. It changes the way he trusts. It changes the way he looks at the person beside him. It changes him. And yes, we must always take abuse seriously. Yes, we must protect victims. Yes, we must believe that women can be harmed. But we also have to tell the truth that men can be harmed too. A man can be abused. A man can be threatened. A man can be lied on. A man can be afraid. A man can be manipulated. A man can be trapped by love, children, shame, faith, finances, fear, guilt, and the hope that things will change. And just like we ask women to get help, we have to tell men to get help too. This is not about choosing one gender over the other. This is about telling the truth. Abuse is wrong no matter who is doing it. Violence is wrong no matter who is doing it. Lying is wrong no matter who is doing it. Manipulation is wrong no matter who is doing it. Using the police as a weapon is wrong. Threatening to ruin someone's life is wrong. Putting your hands on someone is wrong. And staying in a toxic, volatile relationship does not prove love. Sometimes it proves there's a wound that needs attention. And that is another part of this conversation. We all have wounds. Some are visible, some are hidden. Some came from childhood, some came from rejection, some came from abandonment, some came from betrayal, some came from watching unhealthy relationships growing up. Some came from never being taught how to process emotions. Some came from being told, you better not cry. Some came from being told, man up. Some came from being told, you are the man of the house, before you were even old enough to understand what that meant. And because we do not always know where our wounds came from, we cover them up. We call it pride, we call it strength, we call it loyalty, we call it love, we call it faith, we call it keeping the family together, we call it not wanting to give up. But sometimes what we are really doing is bleeding on our future because we never let anybody help us heal from our past. And this is where therapy comes in. Now, let me be clear. I am not a therapist. I am not a psychiatrist. I am an advocate. I am an author. I am a nurse. I write from lived experience. As a registered nurse, and most of my nursing background has been in adult ICU, adult intellectual and developmental disabilities, and adult mental health. So I understand that people do not always like to hear the word therapy. Some people think therapy means something is wrong with them. Some people think therapy means they are crazy. Some people think therapy means they are weak. But therapy is not weakness. Therapy can be a tool. Therapy can help you understand why you keep choosing the same type of person, why you keep going back, why you ignore red flags, why you confuse chaos with passion, why you confuse attention with love, why you stay when you know you should leave, why you feel anxious, why you cannot sleep, why you keep replaying conversations, why betrayal broke something inside of you, why you do not trust, why you keep trying to fix people who keep hurting you. And no, every therapist is not for everybody. Every counselor is not the right fit. Every psychiatrist is not the right match. But that does not mean help is not available. It means you may have to find the right help. Because mental health is not just schizophrenia or bipolar disorder. Mental health is also anxiety, depression, grief, trauma, PTSD, obsessive thoughts, compulsive behaviors, panic attacks, insomnia, stress, anger that feels hard to control, substance use, low self worth, abandonment wounds, betrayal wounds, fear of being alone, fear of rejection, fear of failure. And sometimes it is that quiet feeling that something is not right, but you do not know how to explain it. That's important too. We all have mental health concerns, just like we have physical health concerns. And if we can go to the doctor when our blood pressure is high, when our blood glucose or sugar is off, when our chest hurts, when our body is in pain, then we should be able to seek help when our mind, heart, emotions, and spirit are carrying too much. because ignoring it does not make it go away. Not talking about it does not mean it is healed. Acting like it does not bother you does not mean it did not affect you. Sometimes it comes out as anxiety. Sometimes it comes out as anger. Sometimes it comes out as control. Sometimes it comes out as jealousy. Sometimes it comes out as choosing the wrong person over and over again. Sometimes it comes out as staying in a relationship that is slowly destroying you. And young men, I want you to hear me. You do not have to stay because you are embarrassed. You do not have to stay because you feel guilty. You do not have to stay because you slept with her. You do not have to stay because you moved in with her. You do not have to stay because you told people you loved her. You do not have to stay because your pride will not let you admit you made a mistake. You do not have to stay because you think a man should be able to handle it. You do not have to stay because she cries every time you leave. You do not have to stay because she threatens you every time you set a boundary. You do not have to stay because she says she will ruin you. You do not have to become the wrong man just because you loved the wrong woman. And to be clear, I'm not calling every difficult woman toxic. I'm not calling every hurt woman dangerous. I am not saying every woman who cries is manipulating. I'm not saying every woman who gets angry is abusive. But there is a difference between hurt and harm. There's a difference between being upset and being unsafe. There's a difference between needing support and using someone. There's a difference between wanting love and wanting control. There is a difference between a queen and a counterfeit queen. A queen builds, a counterfeit queen drains. A queen respects boundaries. A counterfeit queen punishes boundaries. A queen can be hurt without trying to destroy you. A counterfeit queen wants revenge when she cannot control you. A queen wants partnership. A counterfeit queen wants power. A queen can disagree without threatening your future. A counterfeit queen will use your love, your guilt, your body, your money, your children, your faith, your fear, and your name to keep control. And young men, you have to learn the difference because beauty is not the same as character. Sex is not the same as love. Attention is not the same as commitment. Fun is not the same as peace. Chemistry is not the same as compatibility. And someone wanting access to you is not the same as someone honoring you. So when we say we put the crown on his head, we have to ask, did we teach him how to choose who stands beside him? Did we teach him that a crown does not make him responsible for fixing someone else's brokenness? Did we teach him that love without respect is dangerous? Did we teach him that peace is part of the standard? Did we teach him that he can be kind without being controlled? Did we teach him that he can help someone without carrying them? Did we teach him that he can pray for her and still leave her? Because faith does not mean you stay in danger. Faith does not mean you ignore red flags. Faith does not mean you let someone destroy your future while you call it forgiveness. You can forgive and still have boundaries. You can pray and still file a report. You can care and still walk away. You can want the best for someone and still know they're not safe for you. This is maturity. That is wisdom. That is how you carry the crown. And let me talk to the families for just one more moment. Mothers, fathers, grandparents, aunties, uncles, sisters, brothers, mentors, pastors, friends. If you see your son changing, do not ignore it. If you see him pulling away from family, do not ignore it. If you see him losing focus, do not ignore it. If you see him always anxious, always angry, always tired, always defending someone who keeps hurting him, do not ignore it. If he tells you she hit him, believe that it matters. If he tells you she threatened him, believe that it matters. If he tells you she said she would ruin him, believe that it matters. Do not laugh it off. Do not say, man, she is just crazy. Do not say, you better handle that. Do not shame him for being hurt. Do not make him feel weak for needing help. Reach for him. Talk to him. Sit with him. Help him think. Help him make a plan, because sometimes young men need more than it'll be okay. Sometimes they need language, they need support, they need somebody calm enough to help them think. They need someone to say, son, I believe you. I see you. I know you are trying, but now we have to be wise. They need someone to tell them, do not put your hands on her. Do not threaten her. Do not argue back and forth. Do not keep showing up. Do not keep answering every message. Save what she sent. Write down what happened. File the report if you need to. Call an attorney if you need to understand your rights. Get counseling if this has affected you. Protect yourself the right way, because silence can be dangerous. Shame can be dangerous. Pride can be dangerous. Trying to handle everything alone can be dangerous. And one of the worst things we can do is raise a young man to believe that because he is male, he should just take it, hide it, swallow it, or figure it out by himself. No, we have to teach him wisdom. We have to teach him boundaries. We have to teach him self control. We have to teach him safety. We have to teach him that a man can walk away, a man can ask for help, a man can report harm, a man can protect his peace, a man can choose his future. A man can still love God, still have morals, still have dignity, and still say, this is not healthy for me. And let me say this too. This conversation does not take anything away from women who have been harmed. It does not erase DV against women. It does not erase the stories of women who have been controlled, abused, manipulated, or silenced. I still care about those stories. Hell, I'm one of those stories. I will always care about those stories. But truth has room for more than one kind of pain. And if we're really going to talk about healing, survival, relationships, and safety, then we will have to tell the truth even when the person hurting is a man. We have to tell our young men, you can be loving without being used. You can be strong without being violent. You can be respectful without being silent. You can walk away without being weak. You can protect yourself without becoming cruel. You can tell the truth without tearing someone down. You can leave without destroying. You can be a king without carrying a crown that is crushing you. Because a man carrying a crown has to know when to stand. He has to know when to leave. He has to know when to get help. He has to know that his future is worth protecting. So what do we teach our kings? We teach them to lead themselves first. Control your temper. Choose your circle wisely. Respect women without allowing yourself to be used. Protect your future. Keep your hands to yourself. Keep your words under control. Do not let love cost you your character. Do not let anger cost you your freedom. Do not let loyalty keep you tied to someone who continuously threatens your peace. Do not confuse being a provider with being someone's fool. Do not think walking away makes you weak. Walking away can be wisdom. Silence can be wisdom. Documentation can be wisdom. Therapy can be wisdom. Filing a report can be wisdom. Calling your father, your mother, your uncle, your aunt, your mentor, your pastor, or the police and saying, I need help handling this the right way, can be wisdom. And wisdom is part of the crown. The old saying is, heavy is the head that wears the crown. The original line is actually, uneasy lies the head that wears a crown. Either way, the meaning is clear. Leadership carries weight. Responsibility carries weight. Manhood carries weight. Love carries weight. Family carries weight. But young men, we're never meant to carry all of that without guidance, without tools, without support, and without somewhere safe to put down the weight and say, I need help. So today, the message is simple. Do not just put the crown on his head. Teach him how to carry it. Teach him how to recognize a counterfeit queen. Teach him how to lead without violence. Teach him how to love without losing himself. Teach him how to forgive without returning to danger. Teach him how to protect his name without destroying somebody else's. Teach him how to ask for help without shame. Teach him how to get therapy without feeling weak. Teach him how to save his future before one moment cost him everything. And teach him that he does not have to become hard, cold, bitter, abusive, or disrespectful just because somebody hurt him. He can heal. He can learn. He can walk away. He can grow. He can still become the man of God called him to be. Before I close, I want to leave this with the young men listening. A crown means nothing if you lose yourself trying to keep it. Protect your peace. Guard your character. Honor your purpose. Do not let love cost you your freedom. Do not let anger cost you your future. Do not let the wrong relationship make you become someone you were never meant to be. And to the families listening, do not wait until your son is in handcuffs, in court, in the hospital, unemployed, broken, isolated, or ashamed before you reach for him. Reach for him now. Ask the question now. Have the conversation now. Teach him now. Because if we are going to call him a king, we must teach him the responsibility, wisdom, discipline, self control, healing, and protection that come with the crown. This has been the Secrets We Keep podcast, where silence ends and healing begins. I am Gina Hunt, author, advocate, and nurse. Protect your peace, speak your truth, and continue to heal.